Last November, we bought the Frontier Airlines Go Wild Unlimited Flight Pass for $5.99. And now they have the Fall and Winter Pass.
Robin, where are we at?
We're in Ontario Airport. We are in the Aspire Lounge waiting for our Frontier flight, and the final destination
Is where? Costa Rica.
Join us in this video as we talk about our experience with the Frontier Go Wild Pass and their updates and changes and what's been going on in June. We're Rich and Robin. Follow along on our adventures in and out of our midlife van. One of the reasons we really like our Frontier Go Wild Pass is that we can do spontaneous travel on a budget.
Because we are retired. So with the Go Wild program pass, we're able to get on to any flight we want.
Almost any flight.
Yes, there are some blackout days, and also there may be some flights that are sold out when you go to pick them.
On these flights, we just have to pay a minimal fee, and it is a tax for the airport. Some are more than others, and it seems like a lot of the non-stops that we've found from the West Coast to the East Coast, we're on the West Coast, are $15. If we have a layover, then it's $30.
Yeah, because it's not just, it's the tax, but then it's also for every airport fee. Yeah. So it does add up if you have layovers. And
there are 30 blackout dates throughout the year. We had to adjust our July plans just a little bit because one of the flights we were going to use was in a blackout date, but we've made it work so far for us.
There are restrictions. Can only book the day before for domestic flights. So that is probably a no-go for some people, but for us it works perfect.
And then for international, you can book 10 days before. The thing for us is we have 3 airports all within about an hour's drive from us that have Frontier flights, so that gave us a little more flexibility with the Go Wild Pass.
So back in November, we purchased the annual pass. It just came out, and we jumped on it.
At a big discount.
The huge discount. It was $600 for the whole year.
So now they had the summer pass, and now they have the fall and winter pass. And so that is $2.99, and I think it starts September 3rd and goes through February 15th or so, or maybe the end of February. The thing they've been doing with these is giving you extra booking time.
Yeah, they go through these promotions where they actually give you a period of maybe it's like a 2-month period, and then you're probably given like 3 weeks to book as many flights as you want for that 3-month period.
So currently the period for all Go Pass holders, whether it's the whole year, summer, or the fall, you can book from September 5th through November 15th.
Flight days.
You can book those flights on those in that day period. And you only have though until June 13th to do that. So if you bought the fall and winter pass right now, you could actually book some September, October, partial November flights through June 13th.
Yep. So after June 13th, now you're back to 24 hours before.
One day before. So the one day before domestic, 10 days before international. What time of day is the one day before domestic flights?
That is confusing.
So we are in the Pacific time zone, and so we assumed midnight, but we have been told by other people that we should be able to do it at 11 p.m., which is 12 p.m. Midnight
for Mountain time, which would be Denver. So Frontier's headquarters in Denver, and so there's a lot of people that described that they were able to book it at midnight Denver time.
So we have been unsuccessful to book it at Pacific time, 11 p.m., which is midnight Denver time. But we have been able to book Pacific time, midnight, for the next day domestic. The international 10-day, when we tried that, even at the midnight our time, 10 days out, it wasn't working. We weren't sure if it was a glitch in the system. Yeah. But then 7 a.m. the next morning, we were able to book it.
So that's the beauty with the 10 days for the international. It does give you a little extra time. So, I mean, honestly speaking, the website and the app has some work needed. Yeah. You know, but
there's a lot of glitches in the website and the app. But
it's a low budget
airline. It's a low budget app and a low budget website. So far, our Go Wild Pass that we bought in November It technically went into effect May 2nd, though they did kind of started a little early with some pre-bookings. And so we were able, in May, when they had their first pre-booking promotion, we booked 9 flights, and we've taken 6 of them. And we haven't had any problems.
No problems
Smooth sailing. We each bought, since it is no frill, we bought, you can only take a personal item for free. So we bought special personal items. We didn't have a problem.
So we bought special bags that are exactly fitting in the sizer. Some of the gate agents are really stickler about having like everybody be able to check their bags into the size.
So far, Vegas was the only one that made everyone check their bags. Others were just verbal about it, and that was the one where each person in line had to check their bags. So that being said, it's a no frills airline. You have to pay if you're going to carry on. You have to pay if you're going to check. The sooner you pay, the better. It's from like $60 to like $99 for a carry on.
Yeah.
So at the gate. They just came out last week with a special to purchase elite status.
It was crazy. At first, I thought it was a gimmick. You pay $80 processing fee, and that gives you, at 20K status, gives you free seat selection in the main group, and then it also gives you a free carry-on bag. So if you do 1 or 2 flights, it's more than paying the $80. I'm surprised not everybody did it.
So we have 3 flights coming up, and those 3 flights, so we already did 6 flights. The 3 flights we had pre-booked in May. We knew we were going to have to carry on a bag
because we're going on a cruise. So we knew we needed extra baggage. So that alone was easily paying that $80.
So over the 3 flights that we have coming up, we saved a couple $100 already in luggage fees. So that's been great for us.
Yeah.
So seat selection, like you said, the elite status has seat selection, but our first 6 flights we had no seat selection
because we didn't want to pay extra for the seat selection. So we just made sure that we booked the 2 of us together in the same reservation. Mm-hmm. We had, to the best we could, try to put our preferences into the travel preferences.
In your profile in Frontier's website, you can put, I want the front, the back, aisle, or window. Rich has his preference in there. I've added mine at least 50 times. It won't save it. But since we're on the same confirmation number, it doesn't really matter. They're always sitting me in the middle seat next to him in the aisle. But we're
in the same row.
Yeah. We've always been together.
Without paying.
And I think we haven't been past row 9 without paying.
Yeah, so
we've been in row 6 to 9 and we haven't paid. Now, without the pre-book special, we want to fly June this month. So we had to go with the original rules.
24 hours before domestic or 10 days for international.
Rich has always wanted to go to Costa Rica. Yes. So we looked into Costa Rica. I always kind of see, well, how can we get to Costa Rica on Frontier? I go to flightconnections.com and it says there's 2 ways to get there, Atlanta and Miami.
Right.
So then we backtracked. And so
what we tried to do is we fly out of Ontario, California, Southern California.
Or Orange County or San Diego.
But if you try to book, let's say, Ontario to Costa Rica, it says not available.
Right. So we know they go into Atlanta, Miami, so that's where we see how can we get to Atlanta. So we booked our Atlanta to Costa Rica, and we were
10 days before.
Way more than 10 days before, and we were going to book our return 10 days before. But at 11 days before, Rich kind of got timid about whether the outbound would be there. Maybe we'd only get the return.
Would it sell out or not?
So we bought our outbound without having a return ticket, and that one was $80. And then
for the 2 of us.
For 2 people.
Yeah, for 2.
And then we waited the next day for the 10-day, and that's when we couldn't do midnight.
We couldn't do it 11
Pacific
o'clock.
time.
We couldn't do it at midnight.
Yeah.
We tried all the way till like 1 a.m. And finally
said,
let's go
then
to sleep.
At 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, we got our flight. We have then round trip tickets from Atlanta to Costa Rica. Yes. Cool. And that one, the one coming back on Costa Rica was $160 because there's...
For the 2 of us.
For the 2 of us, because there's a $29 tax per person.
There's that
For the
airport
airport.
tax, so that you have to. That's just included in the taxes. So, but yes, now we have Atlanta to Costa Rica and Costa Rica back to Atlanta. But how do we get to Atlanta?
So now you can only get to Atlanta booking one day before. So last night at 11 p.m., which would have been midnight Mountain Time, we tried to get the Atlanta. No go.
Not available.
But then at midnight Pacific Time,
Boom.
we got our flight. There was like 5 flights, I think, from Ontario to Atlanta. So we figured we'd probably get a flight. And also we had the option of San Diego had a flight. We weren't too worried about getting that flight. So we booked that one, but we're going through Vegas. So that's a $30 per person, so $60.
Instead of 15.
Instead of 15. If we went to San Diego, we would have been nonstop, and then it would have only been 15. We've been asked, why don't we stick with a regular airline where we can build up status and earn miles instead of the pass? We do have status with American and have flown with them many times using miles and points and cash. For example, this trip, since it was a last-minute trip, if we were to leave from Ontario to go to Costa Rica with our American Airlines, it would have cost us about $1,600 for both of us round trip. Had we not used our mileage for our trip overseas, we could have used miles to get to Costa Rica from Ontario, though we didn't quite have enough, and that would have taken a minimum of 127,000 points plus $175. And now we have Ontario to Atlanta, Atlanta to San Jose, Costa Rica, San Jose, Costa Rica, back to Atlanta.
And that's it.
Now we have to wait till the day before we get into Atlanta.
So when we're in Costa Rica, now we have to log in and be able to then go ahead and book our return flight from Atlanta back to Ontario. But I think we can.
We can get to San Diego or
Orange County.
I think we'll be able to make it, but stay tuned. Yeah. And on our next Frontier Series adventure, we'll see if we made it back to Southern California. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more travel tips and more adventures.